A man who arrived in the United States discovered that a major event occurred in his home country while he was traveling, causing his passport to become invalid and leaving him stranded in the airport. The story is about a man named Viktor who comes from a made-up country and visits the United States, but has trouble communicating with law enforcement due to language barriers. After Viktor's arrival in the United States, he meets Frank, who is the customs director. While eating lunch, Frank explains to Viktor that his home country has experienced a coup d'etat.
The Republic of Krakosia is under new leadership.
Krakosia?
I don't think he gets it.
Leading to a travel ban and invalidation of Viktor's passport. As a result, Viktor cannot enter the United States for any purposes, including business travel or seeking refugee status, as he is considered a citizen of nowhere. However, Viktor struggles to understand this information due to language barriers. Despite this, he is sent back to the airport's international transit area and is warned not to leave until his immigration status is resolved, as leaving the airport could result in his arrest. The police officer who accompanied Viktor gives him food vouchers and a phone card because his Kriko money is worthless in the United States. Viktor attempts to use the phone but struggles due to language barriers, and no one offers to help him. While trying to assist a woman with her suitcase, he accidentally breaks it. To make matters worse, a cleaning man named Gupta mistakes his food vouchers for trash and throws them away. Despite Viktor's attempts to retrieve them, he is unable to communicate with Gupta due to the language barrier. As time passes and night falls, Viktor continues to wander around the airport. Viktor finds an apparently abandoned area in the airport and tries to sleep, despite the uncomfortable chairs. During the night, he is startled awake by the sound of a plane landing, fearing it may be the police. Meanwhile, Frank receives the news that he is a candidate for his boss's replacement and is advised to be wary of process inspectors who will oversee his work. Through security cameras, he spots Viktor in a bathrobe attempting to take a shower in the toilet. Viktor eventually goes to immigration, where he struggles to comprehend the complex procedures, but manages to meet the requirements to enter the country. However, Agent Torres informs him that he is not allowed entry due to being unacceptable. Surprised that Viktor did not attempt to leave the airport, Frank plans to do something to prevent the wandering tourist from interfering with his work. Viktor is hungry, and without any means to buy food, he resorts to taking crackers from the garbage. Frank approaches him, offering a way out of the airport at noon when the security gates will be unguarded. However, this turns out to be a trap, and Frank plans to have the police arrest Viktor. Viktor realizes this when he sees the security camera following him and decides not to exit the airport. Later, he helps a stewardess who falls on the wet floor but is misinterpreted by others as being a CIA agent sent to spy on them.
Hoppa, this belong you.
Thanks.
As he struggles to find food, Viktor discovers a machine at the airport that dispenses coins when luggage carts are returned, using this money to buy food. Viktor continues to collect and return luggage carts to earn money for food. He struggles to understand English news broadcasts and decides to use some of his earnings to buy books to learn the language. Officer Torres recognizes him during his visit to immigration, but their interaction is friendlier this time. Viktor's plan to earn more money is thwarted by Frank, who hires someone to do the job he was doing. Viktor, desperate for food, ventures out of the airport and is seen by a man named Enrique. When the flight attendant he previously helped greets him, she trips him, causing him to drop his food. Gupta becomes angry with Viktor, thinking that he is stealing his job. Enrique, who works in the food area, approaches Viktor with a deal to exchange food for information about Officer Torres, with whom he is in love. Viktor agrees to the deal and begins collecting information in exchange for food. Eventually, Frank informs Viktor that he can enter the country as a refugee by testifying that he fears returning to his home country. However, Viktor declines the offer as he does not want to speak ill of his country. He chooses to stay in the transit zone. While there, Viktor overhears a fight between a flight attendant and her married lover. He helps her with a damaged phone, and they introduce themselves. She is Amelia, and she invites him to dinner, but he declines due to his situation. Viktor wants to impress Amelia and looks for work in the airport stores, but is laughed at by everyone except for one man who takes his number. Victor waits for hours before receiving a call from the store manager, who tells him that they have hired someone else. He finds a job working overnight in an under-construction area and is eventually hired by the workers. He starts playing cards with Gupta, Enrique, and the baggage man, and they have fun gambling with unclaimed lost objects.
For unclaimed items from the lost and found.
Victor meets Amelia in a bookstore, and she asks him out again, and this time he accepts. Frank discovers that Victor earns more than him and contacts him in annoyance. Federal forces attempt to imprison Victor, but are unsuccessful, so Frank locks him in an airport cell to prepare for an upcoming FBI inspection. However, while walking with an authority figure, they encounter a passenger carrying unlicensed drugs who goes into a frenzy when they attempt to take them away. Victor speaks the same language as the passenger and acts as a translator in exchange for being allowed to return to the terminal. The passenger pleads for his pills to be returned, claiming they are for his father and that he did not know he needed a license. Victor suggests that the pills are for the passenger's cat, which requires no license. He tells the man what to say in English to retrieve his pills. Victor is finally proven innocent, but his boss Frank doesn't believe him and starts mistreating him. However, Gupta tells everyone what really happened, and Victor is now admired by his colleagues. Victor wants to go to New York, but the head of customs hates him, so his colleagues offer to smuggle him in, but he instead asks for their help in finding Amelia's return date. When Amelia finally arrives, they have dinner on a terrace of the airport, which they've turned into a restaurant. Victor confesses to Amelia that he lives at the airport, but she thinks it's because he travels frequently. They arrange to meet again, and later he helps Enrique by delivering a ring to Officer Torres for their wedding. After a few days, Victor catches the bouquet at their wedding in the airport chapel. Amelia is later called by Frank, who confesses and tells her the truth. Amelia confronts Victor for lying to her and breaking up with her lover. He shows her a gift he made, inspired by Napoleon's gifts to Josephine. Later, Victor tells her about his promise to his late father to get autographs from a jazz band, and they end up kissing. The war in his country ends, and Amelia gives him an emergency visa to get the last autograph. Victor is missing New York and invites Amelia to join him, but she chooses to go back to her lover. When Victor seeks help to enter the country, he finds out that his visa is missing a signature from Frank, who threatens to fire his friends and deport Gupta. Victor tries to say goodbye to his friends, but the old maintenance man commits an infraction to get himself deported, allowing Victor to keep his promise. With gifts from the airport employees, Victor leaves for the city and fulfills his promise to get the last autograph for his father's collection. He then happily returns home. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel and see more videos like this.